All right, everybody, welcome back to What's the Big Deal? When you are seeing this on YouTube, this is a pre-recorded episode. Um, YouTube kind of bent us over and made us wait 24 hours to verify the fact that we can live stream because they think I'm a robot. Yeah, Jack, what are we gonna talk about today?
Okay, so today we're going to be going over college football and NFL. We're kind of going to start going over the top 25, a top 25 we made, which we think is better, of course. And right after that, we're going to head into our sorry of the week for college. We won't spoil that yet. And then right after we do the sorry of the week for college, we're going to head into NFL, talk about three matchups I picked out that I think are going to be important to this week. And then we're going to go over game picks, a little bit of that, and just kind of talk around what's going on in the league. And after that, we'll do our sorry of the week for the NFL. And kind of that's going to be the episode today.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into this AP committee poll, which is, in my opinion, an absolute shit show. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on screen for everybody and Jackson as well. All right, right here, AP top 25. AP poll actually just means a bunch of monkeys sitting around a desk in New York City banging their heads together because they don't know a goddamn thing. So first, we're gonna start off here with the number one, Ohio State. Normal. I mean, they are
I,
the defending national champions.
I think everybody can agree on that. Like you can say what you want about Texas, but no matter what, it's a big win. You can't, especially for what we know now, you can't take that away.
Yeah, we're gonna get here to number two, Penn State. I don't know if I'm just missing something, but what has Penn State done to warrant a number two overall ranking in this poll? I mean, they played they played JV teams, and I mean they're struggling to score. I mean, I don't understand. I get it. Like, what has Penn State done? I mean, you can say the same thing for a lot of these teams that we're going to get into, but I just don't think they deserve this number two overall rating. I think they're
They
probably
really
the most
haven't done
overrated.
anything yet. They haven't done anything yet, and especially it's not about who you've beat and by how much. It's also about how you've looked. And personally, to me, when I watch their games, they haven't done anything yet. Their quarterback looks mid. That's a guy in Drew Ryler who had a lot of expectations going into the season. And when you go through it, he hasn't really done anything. But the only caveat to this ranking is they had their first big game against Oregon this week to prove that they deserve the ranking. So everything we could say could just be totally wrong if they go and beat Oregon. But as of right now, I don't think they deserve the number two spot.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go get a big win next week against number six Oregon. We got number three LSU. Nothing too much to say here. They do have one of the best defenses in the entire country. With that being said, they also have a very underwhelming offense so far. Garrett Nussmeier, who's supposed to be one of the Heisman frontrunners, he's looked very meh. I will be it. He is playing with a little bit of a knee injury, so that can always the quarterback's the most important player of the team. So if he's not doing well, it's understandable. They need to give Kajarian Price the football more. He is their best offensive player, and quite frankly, they couldn't run the ball against a very lackluster Florida defense. So
A
that's
big a
something big
big
to
thing with
watch.
that a big thing with that I feel like is it's the fact yes their defense is very good. They got DJ Lagway to commit 5 interceptions in that game, which is a big deal. But the fact that they only had, I think, 7 points off of turnover in that game is pretty distressing because in most turnovers you're getting better field position than you would on a normal drive, and you need to really capitalize on that, especially if you're going to be the number three team in the country in the SEC.
Yeah. Right here, we're gonna get to Miami. Miami and Georgia. These are two teams that, at the number four and five ranking, they have some of the best resumes in college football at this point. Um, you got Miami, who went down week one, beat Notre Dame. This past week, went down, or USF came to Hard Rock, let alone a red hot USF team. I mean, I know they're not in this AP poll anymore. They were red hot. They came off of a walk-off winner in the Swamp, and then also what do you call it? They went down and beat Boise State. So I mean, honestly, this is number four. I think is a little too low. I mean, there's nothing really to argue there. Georgia going down to Neyland Stadium in one of the top five environments in college football, a sold out checkerboard house. Um, and they beat them. I mean, I get it. You can say, "Oh, kicker should have made the field goal." Whatever. They didn't. Georgia won. Georgia's undefeated. They're the number five team in the country, and I think they deserve it.
That's something I kind of want to get into more about, like the kicker and how that game ended with Tennessee and Georgia. But we're going to get that more into context when we get down to Tennessee's ranking. But it's kind of the same thing. Miami and Georgia, I feel like they've looked great. They've played real competition in at least one or two games, unlike the number two, number three team. I feel like if you kind of just swap those and where they are, that would make it such a better ranking.
Yep. All right, and then we're gonna get down to the second row. We have Oregon. Not really too much to say about Oregon. We do know they're a very talented football team. They have Evan Stewart now down there, the former Texas A&M transfer that is looking to be the wide receiver one this season. And he's looked pretty explosive through these first couple of weeks. Nothing too much to say about them. I don't think anyone's really going to argue that number six ranking for him. Let's see, we're going to go into Florida State. Florida State, they got that big win week one against Alabama. Huge win, very demanding win. They went in there and showed who they were, and I think they are, what do you call it, one of the top seven teams in the country. I mean, nothing really too much to say about that. I think Florida State's back.
I think Florida State's back, and it's also a little bit of a what everybody wants to get into with Saban being gone and Kalen DeBoer taking over, the former Washington head coach. Bama just doesn't play with that same physicality that they used to. Like I remember watching that Florida State game, and there's certain plays. Like I think it was a run to the left of their running back, the Florida State's running back, and you could see the strong safety of Bama, Bray Hubbard. He's jogging to the ball. He could have stopped the touchdown on that play. He's just jogging. Like you never would have seen that with Nick Saban.
Yeah, definitely not. I would expect with a team that talented, they would get it figured out at some point in these next couple of weeks. I mean, we will see. But right here, number eight, this will probably be one of the biggest talking points of this poll. The number eight overall Texas Longhorns. This was a team that was in the semifinals last year, and quite frankly, just does not look like a good football team. We know they're a good football team. I mean, you have Steve Sarkisian coaching, you got Arch Manning taking snaps, and this is a very talented football team. One of, if not the best defense in the entire country at the moment. So, and that has been on display. I mean, quite frankly, I think these games or the games that this Texas offense has played against these lesser opponents, the games would be much closer if they did not have this best defense in the country. And like I said, kind of the same thing with Bama. I mean, you would think that a team like this will get it figured out soon, and quite frankly, they have to. I mean, they got Georgia coming up. I believe they have they got like one more week, one, 2 more weeks to get things figured out. I know they have to play Florida and Mississippi State, and then it starts to ramp up. You got to go to Athens, and if Arch Manning is playing the way he's playing right now, there's rumors that he's going through a little shoulder injury. We're not sure how true that is. Steve Sarkisian did shut that rumor down, but they got a couple weeks to figure this out before they got to go to Athens, and they don't get it figured out. It might be scary if you're a Texas Longhorn fan, like our co-host Jack.
I know I'm a Longhorns fan. I don't want to seem too biased on my opinion, but my thing is you could you could say yes, they've played down to lower competition, but in my opinion, you also got to look at how they played against the number one team in the country at this moment, the defending national championship. We were about a play or two away. We got stopped at the 1 yard line and the 5 yard line. If two plays in that game went differently, we're undefeated and most likely number one or number two right now. You could say all you want about us playing, and that really people want to blame it all on Arch, but I don't think I've seen enough people put Sarkeesian under the microscope. I don't think it's completely either of their faults. But watching the games, Sarkeesian's play calls aren't terrible, but they just don't seem very timely. Like it seems like he's just throwing stuff out there, and like thankfully they've been able to do that against these lesser teams like San Jose State and UTEP. But they got to get it figured out. If they don't win big and look better against Sam Houston this weekend, that would be somewhere to worry about going into next week.
All right, and we got number nine Illinois. This next spot. Who can you name one single player on Illinois? Who? Why the hell are they ranked number nine in the country? Like I'm telling you, I would put my
I can
lifeline
name an Illinois player because I know ball, but that's not everybody.
that's not is that wasn't the point. The point is Illinois. What have they done? like I mean I'm sorry. I'm not buying the hype on Illinois. They don't have a very strong Big Ten schedule either. I mean they're gonna have to go play one of these top dogs, and I expect them to get slaughtered if I'm being honest. Maybe I'm just an Illinois hater. I'm not buying into the hype. I don't even think they're a top 15 team in the country if I'm being honest.
I think their ranking is high, but it's kind of the thing of we ask as like fans to not see the poll be influenced by what happened last season. And so far this season, they've done nothing but play solid football. And I feel like a lot of their ranking comes from the game they had against Duke. Duke has transferred Darian Mensah this year. They had a lot of expectations, not to be like a playoff team, but to be improved. And Illinois beat the brakes off Duke. There's no other way of saying it. And I feel like that has very much influenced their ranking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they're a bad football team. I just kind of want to see them do something against somebody, and then when they do, I'll give them their props. But until then,
You know what? We get to see that their next two upcoming games against Indiana and USC. I think they do beat Indiana, but USC is the game I want to see because USC when their offense is clicking, I feel like they're going to be a really underrated team.
and coming at number 10, we do have my Texas A&M Aggies, coming off a big win in South Bend, um, kind of really similar to what do you call it, Tennessee and Georgia. Special teams just choke away the game for Notre Dame. Marcel Reed goes down on a 70-yard drive on 8 plays to win the game, and they jump from number 16 in the AP poll to number 10. Um, they're going into a bye week, and then they got Auburn, who is number 22 at home. That should be a good game to watch. It's a 2:30 afternoon game. Um, I mean, I think the number 10 ranking is warranted. Obviously, I am going to be a little biased. I try to be a little realistic, but I think number 10 is good for the moment. But I mean, we're really going to see if this is the same old Aggies or if this is a new Aggie team. You did go down and you beat Notre Dame, but you got to go on the road to Missouri. You got to go on the road to Baton Rouge and Death Valley. You got to go on the road to DKR and go take on the Texas Longhorns. So I mean, if the Aggies want to be in play for an SEC championship, they got to go win big games. They've won their first test. We got to go see if they can keep up the hype, beat down on these lesser opponents. That's not to knock down Auburn. Just A&M is a better team than Auburn, in my opinion. But you got to go handle business and then go on the road to Missouri, then LSU, then Texas.
My one opinion on the Aggies. I know I'm a Longhorns fan. I don't love them. They're not my favorite team. I don't have a hatred for them. But the biggest thing I feel like that we've seen in years of Aggie past is last year they go to Auburn. Or sorry, they played at Auburn last year, I believe.
Coming
They
right off that big LSU going.
right out the big LSU game, Marcel Reed's first game coming in fully. He plays amazing. LSU couldn't stop a read option to save their life. Huge letdown against Auburn. You could say, yeah, they dropped the ball on the 2 point. It doesn't matter. They lost. That really hurt the momentum. And right now, they are probably at the highest momentum they will be for the whole season, coming off a game like that Notre Dame one. I really want to see. I don't think this is a trap game. I think Auburn's a solid team. A&M's clearly a good team, but Auburn has had A&M's number from time to time. I really want to see how they come out of this game.
Yeah, they do have that bye week. I expect Kyle Field to be rocking, and we're gonna see what they can do. See what kind of A&M team we get. We do have Oklahoma led by arguably the Heisman frontrunner John Mateer, that Washington State transfer, who he's looked amazing, honestly.
He is the Heisman front runner right now. You could say arguably he's the front runner right now. He has quality wins, great stats. He's looked great.
Yeah. And honestly, I think as long as John Mateer plays great, I expect them to go up and up and up until they got to hit that Red River rivalry. And honestly, unlike last year, that game will be the game to watch. We're going to see that Texas defense versus this explosive Oklahoma offense. I think it'll be a good matchup. I'm really excited for that game in the next coming weeks. But yeah, Oklahoma, you're 11th ranked team in the country. Then we got Iowa State. Iowa
I
State, they
think
play. I mean,
I think Iowa State personally is very underrated. And that's something that even went back to last year. Last year, everybody forgets they played Arizona State in the Big 12 championship. They were in playoff contention until the last week of the regular season. And I feel like it's going to be some sort of the same thing this year. The Big 12 isn't very strong, and
Wide
they really
open.
have a good chance. Their quarterback, Rocco Beck, he's played really good football so far.
Yeah, I mean that Big 12 is wide open. I mean, honestly, it's anybody's game. So if Iowa State just keeps it up and handles business like they have the roster to do it, you can very well see them back in that Big 12 championship game. Let's see, we have the SEC trio. Um, we got Ole Miss, Alabama, and Tennessee. All three lining up at 2-1. Although I do think Tennessee is the best team out of these three, but you got to realize you can't lose a game at home and then just go up in the rankings. But the AP poll did keep Tennessee in the same spot, which I thought was a little shocking. I thought they would have dropped at least a spot or two. Let alone it was Georgia, but still losing at home to anybody I think should warrant a drop in the poll. But I mean that's why we make the big deal poll. But yeah, we got three SEC
My I kind
schools.
of I kind of disagree on that because to an extent, good losses do matter. Like you saw it, what was it, 2 years ago when Texas made the semi over Florida State and Bama made that fourth spot. A big reason Texas was in that number 3 seed on the original college football, of course, the original CFP bracket, was because they had a quality win over Bama, and Bama's loss was to Texas. Bama's loss didn't look nearly as bad as because it was to a great team. So I feel like I don't get the area of having Alabama over Tennessee. Like I can understand Ole Miss because they're undefeated, that matters for something. But I don't get the spot of having Alabama over Ole Miss, and especially Bama looked much worse in their loss to Florida State than Tennessee did to Georgia. And if we're being real, if their kicker wasn't a damn idiot, they would have won that game. So I feel like Tennessee kind of gets disrespected being put behind Bama there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, they do definitely get disrespected. I think it's just the fact of like if you wanted to have Bama at let's say 16 and have Tennessee 15, I'm cool with that. I just think Tennessee has to drop at least one spot. I mean, you have to execute those kind of kicks in big moments. But I mean, hey,
That is true.
Tennessee is one of those teams that I think is very similar to A&M. Passionate fan base, loaded rosters, and they just lose. I mean, they just come up in big moments and they can't finish. So this is a very talented Tennessee team though with Joey Aguilar, who I think, in my opinion, has entered the Heisman conversation. Um, you know, due to Nico leaving. And if you're wondering how Nico is doing, he is 0-3 and just lost to New Mexico at home in
And their head
UCLA.
coach just got fired.
So, um, yeah, Joey Aguilar, amazing guy in that Heisman conversation. Um, let's see, we also got Utah. Utah's a team that I'm kind of similar with when it comes to Illinois. Is they're a solid football team, but I mean, what have they really done? I mean, we did see them in their one big slate against Boise last year get absolutely just terrified, just absolutely ran through by Ashton Genty. But I mean, that did happen to everybody on their schedule. So, but yeah, Utah. I want to see a little more from them once they enter Big 12 play. We're going to see what they're made of. Like I said, that is a really big conference is wide open. You got Tech, you got Iowa State, you got Arizona State. I mean, you got a lot of teams that can go in and win it, especially with Kansas State not looking nearly as good as they were supposed to be. It's a wide open conference for Utah.
It really is a wide open conference, and Utah is one of those few teams I feel like that is led by their defense. Their offense isn't bad by any means, but I feel like their defense is really where they have something to prove and where they could really make a difference. And they have a matchup against Texas Tech this weekend, which is basically going to decide who's in the lead for the Big 12.
Yeah. I mean, the same thing we just said about Utah is kind of the same thing with Tech. They're going to play each other this week. We're going to see who the better team is between those two. Georgia Tech with a big
I think
win.
I think Georgia Tech should be much higher than this, much higher. And I feel like that's not under or over exaggerating. I feel like that's spot on.
Yeah. Georgia Tech with a big win over Clemson. Clemson now, I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, I don't see a scenario where Clemson gets to that ACC championship having already two losses. I get the first one was a loss to LSU, so you would have to hope that Georgia Tech just falls off a cliff because honestly, I think Miami makes that ACC championship. I don't think they lose another game this season. I mean, I'm really high on Miami. If you're Clemson, I mean, I get it. You can still make that conference title game, but that CFP bid is now out of your control, having two losses.
Unless Clemson completely wins out. I know we're talking about Georgia Tech right now, but it's kind of connected. But Georgia Tech also has a shot at the ACC. I feel like it's really gonna be them and Miami, honestly, because I feel like they both have veteran quarterbacks that look kind of funny. They play well. Like that's really, I feel like that's a recipe for success in the ACC.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. Like Jackson thinks a little bit of a disrespectful ranking. I think they are better than 18, but I don't think that you can just add somebody into the poll that deep into it. But yeah, they're definitely an amazing football team, and they will be higher in the next coming weeks. Indiana, a former playoff team of last season. Um, they look solid, honestly. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about them yet. Like I said, it's really hard to judge a lot of these teams that play cupcakes before conference play. But what do you call it? I expect Indiana to be in that second tier, kind of with Illinois when it comes to like the tiers in that Big Ten conference. Obviously, you got Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State, and then you have that second tier that's I think it's really between Illinois and Indiana to who is that fourth team and who can ultimately make it to the CFP. I mean, I think it's wide open for either of those teams. They just got to get business done.
And like we mentioned earlier, with I believe Illinois, how their matchups coming up were going to be a lot tougher. They have Indiana next week. The week after, they have Iowa, who makes every game they play ugly and close somehow. And then right after that, they have their bye. And you know who they play the next week? They play Oregon. So they have a tough 3 games ahead of them. And honestly, I see them losing 2 out of the 3. I think they take Iowa, but I think they lose to Illinois and Oregon. And I feel like that's kind of it's going to end their season. I know they've played well, but I don't see them making it very far.
Yeah. At number 20, if you would have told me in 2022 that Vanderbilt would knock off number one Alabama during the 2024 season and by week three be ranked number 20 in the AP poll, I would think you're out of your mind. I mean, Diego Pavia has really brought Vanderbilt to a middle of the pack SEC team. You know, Vanderbilt has always been a laughing stock of the SEC, and I mean, Vanderbilt wins football games now. I mean, they go on the road and they win football games. They win football games at home. It doesn't matter who. They went in and embarrassed Virginia Tech in that second half, week one. And then took down a top 10 team in South Carolina. I mean, be it they didn't have Lenora Sellers up in halfway through that second quarter, but Lenora Sellers wasn't playing well to begin with. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, this Vanderbilt team can be sneaky good. I mean, if you don't prepare for them, they will punch you in the mouth. And Diego Pavia and I mean, his mom's smoking hot, but I mean, he will run you down.
I mean, Diego Pavia is just the man right now. Theo Von's trying to set up a date for him. I don't know. He just has aura. And you want to talk about that South Carolina game? Lenore Sellers doesn't play on South Carolina's defense. Like that doesn't really matter for how well their offense is playing. And the thing is, they do start to get into the SEC schedule soon, and that's where we're going to really see how this team is this year.
Yeah, and if Diego Pavia ends up getting with Tate McRae, we'll have to box him, but that's not the point. We're gonna go ahead and get down to Big Blue here in Michigan. Michigan enters the top 25 poll, or not enters. They're still in it after that week one loss to Oklahoma. Let alone it was too now the number 11 team in the country and the Heisman frontrunner John Mateer. Um, I mean, Michigan is just, I mean, they're all right. I mean, barely edging out into this poll. I mean, pretty good defense in my opinion, even though it got tore up by Mateer. I think that is their strong point. They do have the true freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood, who was the number one recruit in this past recruiting class. I think he's going to be really good. But obviously, it's just going to come with time. I mean, he's really young. He's still learning through the system. He's learning the offense. He's learning the adaptation from high school to college, which is vastly difficult. Um, but I expect them to. Let me see who do they play. I forgot who they play this upcoming week. I was
They
just
they
reading
play
behind.
Nebraska upcoming. They play the
Nebraska.
the Patrick Mahomes clone.
Yeah, honestly, I expect them to I expect them to roll Nebraska. I don't think Nebraska is very good, if I'm being honest. I think Dylan Raiola is a decently good quarterback, but I think Bryce Underwood can dice up that Nebraska defense. I expect them to move up in this ranking. But for the moment, 21 is not a bad ranking for them.
I feel like it's pretty fair. I don't want to make it seem they didn't get blown out by Oklahoma, but Oklahoma controlled that game pretty much the whole second half. It was kind of Michigan trying to play keep up. So I feel like this ranking's pretty fair, especially with most of the teams we have above them.
Yeah. And then with number 22 and 23, we have Auburn and Missouri. Jackson Arnold looked amazing. I mean, we really thought that it was a Jackson Arnold problem in Oklahoma. Be it I throw out Jackson Arnold for John Mateer too, but what do you call it? They looked very solid. And what do you call it? After this next week, they got to go up to Aggie Land and take on the Red Hot Aggies. So for Auburn, played
Let's
really
also
solid.
not discount that Auburn also plays Oklahoma this week. They have two rough games in a row. So that's going to be a big deal for them. I could see them. I don't know if they would drop them out. It really depends for next week. I think they're going to lose to Oklahoma, but it depends how close the game is.
Yeah. I mean, for these middle of the pack to lower class SEC teams, these schedules are hell. I mean, like you do not catch a break in the SEC, and it's gonna be tough. I mean, we're gonna see how good this Auburn team really is in these next 2 weeks. We have Mizzou led by Bear Perbula, who's actually played really good football. I know I butchered.
Bo Pribula. Bo.
Yeah, I hate this guy's
I
name.
think one thing I want to say that is pretty interesting is Bo Pribula is a quarterback Penn State got rid of on their roster to make sure Drew Aller didn't have real competition. And personally, so far,
He's
I think
outplayed
he's
him.
outplayed Drew Aller.
Definitely.
He's played better, and Missouri's played well. They do have South Carolina up this week, but it's kind of I don't really know how much that's going to affect the ranking because especially if South Carolina doesn't have Lenora Sellers. There's not really much you could gain off of beating them.
Yeah. And at number 24, why the fuck is Notre Dame ranked? Why? 0-2
I don't
Notre
I don't
Dame.
I don't think they're the 24th best football team in the country. I think they're better than that, but I can also understand the fact that they shouldn't be ranked. They're 0-2. They've lost their games both by combined total of 4 points, I think. Three to Miami, one to A&M. They played great. It's just they haven't been able to finish a game, and I do understand why they dropped.
Honestly, they're not a bad football team. Honestly, I think they're a very good football team. You just can't be 0-2 in week three. I mean, obviously you can be, but to be ranked at 0-2 after 3 weeks of college football, I think it's utterly insane. I think it's off of brand value and name value. I mean, that's honestly everything I think it is.
It is off of brand and name value, but the other thing is Notre Dame really I don't know if they even have a shot at the CFP anymore because they're independent.
No
They don't
conference
have a
title
conference
game.
championship. They have no chance of playing into something like that, and they're really going to have to impress the rest of the season, blowout after blowout, and they're really going to have to finish strong.
Yeah, this brings me into the number 25 team in the country, who is currently Notre Dame's only remaining ranked opponent. And they edged it out at the 25 spot. Lincoln Riley has USC playing very good football, honestly. Um, for me, I think they're a good football team. I don't know if I've seen enough from them yet to trust. I mean, they couldn't get it done with Caleb Williams. So, I mean, I got to see some from Lincoln Riley, or else there's going to be some really uncomfortable conversations about Lincoln Riley. That's really weird to say.
I don't know if we'll even get those conversations this year because that man has an insane contract. I don't think they really want to buy him out of that, especially because you see a lot of coaching changes, but very rarely in the past few years, except maybe Steve Sarkisian, have you seen a hire for a big school really change the program. So I feel like they're just kind of in purgatory if they don't do anything this year.
All right. And the moment you have all been waiting for. Put it on the screen, Agent. Put it on the screen. Boom! The real top 25 poll right here. All right, we're not going to spend too much time on this because we did take a lot of time on that AP poll. But I'm kind of just going to go over a couple of the few points. Number two, Miami. Miami is the second best team in the country. I
This is
honestly,
what we were talking about earlier. We needed to move Miami and Georgia up because they've played harder teams and they've performed better.
yeah, Miami and Georgia, definitely the top number two and three ranked teams in the country. LSU, they drop a spot in our poll compared to the AP poll. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on the screen just so we can compare the two while we're going at it. Number five, Oregon. I mean, kind of same spot, whatever. Penn State at seven, kind of what we were talking about earlier. Got to show us something. I mean, what you're showing us hasn't looked pretty, but you haven't lost, so that's the only reason you're here. We're gonna come to number eight and nine. We got the heart of the SEC in Texas with Texas and A&M going neck and neck as of right now. We expect Texas to pick it up, and hopefully A&M can stay on this high horse. We got OU still staying right behind A&M at 10. Next big thing we have in our poll is Illinois at 13 compared to number 9 in the AP poll.
I feel like that ranking is very fair. When we're making this, I feel like we didn't have very many disagreements because we're both ball knowers. We have very similar knowledge on this topic, but I really do think Illinois would beat Iowa State if they played today. But based off of their resumes, I have no problem with having Iowa State above them.
Yeah. And then right here is kind of where it, from here on is kind of where the changes are made in the poll. Um, we got Utah at 14. Utah, they haven't done anything wrong lately, and they've looked decent, so we kept them there in our poll. Alabama at 15. I mean, they're one slot back from what they are in the AP poll. Honestly, they'd be lower if they weren't Alabama, if I'm being honest. Um, But I mean, they've won. I mean, they looked ugly against Florida State. I got to see more. Ty Simpson, though, over the past 2 weeks, has played really good football. He's kind of
Simpson
kept them
has
in this spot.
he's slowly actually added himself. I've seen him get a lot of Heisman hype because he's on a big name team in the SEC. He's been getting a lot of hype and he's been playing well. But I really want to see him play well against a great team. That's what I need to see.
Yes, sir. And then we got the two techs of the world. We got Georgia Tech and Texas Tech. Texas Tech at 16, Georgia Tech at 17. Um, what do you call it? Tech gets a spot higher in our ranking than they do in the AP poll. I don't think you can put them any higher than 17 just because they were unranked. But I do definitely think they're in that 14 to 13 range with Utah and Illinois. We're gonna go ahead and get into Tennessee. Like I said, one of the best losses you could have in football right now, if I'm being honest. But I mean, the way I see it, if you lose a game at home, you have to drop a little bit. And I don't think that compared to the AP poll, that three spots is that crazy. You're still in control of your own destiny. It's one SEC loss, and I mean you looked really good while doing it. Quite frankly, you should have won the game. But I mean, season's definitely not over for Tennessee. I expect high things, and I expect them to be back in that playoff.
Season's not over, especially when you look at the SEC the way it is right now. Georgia's most likely going to coast maybe another loss this season. And I'm not saying another, maybe a loss this season. Texas, same thing. If they get through their schedule up until A&M and Georgia, at most they finish with one conference loss, and that's what really matters. You can say all you want about these first 2 3 weeks, but most teams aren't playing conference opponents. In the grand scheme of things, that Ohio State loss doesn't really matter as long as somebody is able to play into the CFP in the SEC championship.
Yeah. What do you call it? We have Indiana a little bit lower in our poll at number 19. Like I said, you just got to show us something. The same way that Illinois was a little lower in our poll, same thing with Indiana. Or actually, oh, I'm lying. We kept Indiana in the same spot. That's my bad. I thought I had Indiana lower than 19. I guess not. That's my fault. We got Vandy at 20 as well, same spot. Michigan a little bit lower. Um, we have Michigan a little bit lower and Mizzou a little higher. Um, like I said, all because of Bear Perbula.
Bo, it's Bo,
Oh,
B O. It's pronounced B O Bo.
I think Bear sounds more badass. Um,
You're an idiot.
I'm gonna call him Bear. But yeah, like I said, in that lower ranking for Heisman, I mean, he's played really good football. So I'm really high on Mizzou this year. I don't think they'll make the CFP, but I can definitely see them being a 9-3 team. Um, we're going to go ahead and drop down to 24 and 25, where we have two teams that enter. Well, we have one team that entered and one team that stays in our poll that did not make the AP poll this week. We have number 24, BYU. Like I said, like a lot of these teams, BYU hasn't played anybody, but neither have a lot of these schools. And while these other schools that
And
haven't
the
played
least you
anybody,
could say, the least you could say is that they've looked damn well doing it with a true freshman who wasn't supposed to start this season at all. Like I feel like that counts for something, and their defense has looked great so far.
yeah, quietly, quietly the best defense in the Big 12, in my opinion. I mean, they're giving up 2 points a game, and I get it, you're not playing anybody, but a lot of these teams haven't played anybody, and they haven't looked particularly good doing it. BYU has looked amazing while doing it. It's about how you perform, and I think BYU is warranted with a 24 ranking in our poll. Then we got
The one disagreement I have with you on this poll, like a serious disagreement, is having USF here at 5. I think it is true that they have scheduled harder opponents the first 3 weeks. They got blown out by Miami, if we're being honest. They beat Florida, not by a lot. They beat Florida, but as every week goes on, Florida looks worse and worse, and I don't even think I would consider Florida a quality win anymore. Same thing with Boise. This isn't the Boise State of last year. They haven't looked the same.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm still, quite frankly, I'm still on the USF hype train. I think by a mile they were the group of five favorite. Um,
Oh, they're the group of 5 favorite, no question.
in my opinion, I think if you're the group of five favorite, I think you're one of the best 25 teams in college football. That's just my opinion. I don't expect USF to, I expect USF to maybe lose one more game, and that's just because they schedule harder opponents. I expect them to breeze through majority of the rest of their schedule, and I expect Byron Brown to take them to the promised land. That's my guy right
That
there.
dude is mid at throwing the ball. He's Derrick Henry at quarterback. That's all he is.
Byron Brown, put in your Heisman votes right now. Don't do that. But yeah, that is the AP poll, and we have the big deal poll. Tell us what you think about the poll. If you have any critiques on our poll, you're wrong because our poll is correct. So don't bother doing that. And then we're gonna go in and get into Jackson's top three games for this NFL season, and then after that, we're gonna get into our favorite segment in Sorry of the Week.
I think you forgot. We need to do sorry of the week for college football first.
Are we? I
And
thought.
I know
Wait.
we talked about this.
Wait. I thought we were doing sorry of the weeks at the end. Are we doing sorry of the week for college right now?
Yeah, I think we should do it right now. It just matches up better. But so sorry of the week for college football is going to be DJ Lagway.
DJ, give the ball away!
That dude sucks. And I think the worst thing I saw this week that I thought was hilarious was a damn meme on Instagram, and it said the DJ Lagway Arch Manning matchup is going to set quarterback play back generations. That is the worst thing to say. The worst thing to see as a Texas fan. And you know what? It might be true, but DJ Lagway played awful this week. 5 interceptions. I understand LSU has a great defense, but in no world is 5 interceptions ever going to be like anything you could talk about.
No. And honestly, I think this picture of him on the screen is so goddamn funny. He looks so ugly. But yeah, DJ give the ball away is our sorry of the week for week four. 5 interceptions against LSU. Um, Pretty acrobatic interceptions, really athletic looking throws. They just went to the defense. Um, so poor guy. I expect him to what do you call it? Have better performances. I mean, if this is hopefully this is the worst it gets. I mean, I don't see any possible way that it can get worse than this. I mean, he was a Heisman favorite. Um, but yeah, he has a lot of potential. Hopefully he gets better. Rooting for the guy, but 5 interceptions is laughable, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the NFL. So what I want to do every week when we're going NFL, I want to pick 3 to 4, depending on what matchups are that week. I want to pick three important matchups that we'll go over in detail, and we're going to do the game picks after that. But so the first one I wanted to talk about was Rams Eagles, and this one's a playoff matchup from last year. They played twice last year, I believe. The second time was a lot closer. They also did play in the snow. That will affect. They're not going to play in the snow this time, so that's definitely going to affect how the game is played. But really, I want to get into the Eagles first. Jalen Hurts has not impressed me at all offseason. You see, he's top five. He's amazing. The Eagles have the best wide receivers in the league. Neither wide receiver has really done anything.
He
AJ
hasn't
Brown
thrown.
right now
He hasn't thrown a
is one of the
touchdown.
worst. Jalen Hurts has less touchdowns this season than Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel in 2 quarters of play has more touchdowns than Jalen Hurts this season on throwing the ball.
Yeah, honestly. Eagles, I mean, in my opinion, the most least impressive 2-0 team I've ever seen. Jalen Hurts. He, I mean, he's not playing terrible. I mean, he's just not doing anything. I mean, 100 less than 170 yards passing in both games, no touchdowns. And then on the other side of the football, you got Jalen Carter hawk tuing over everybody. So, I mean, honestly, I don't know. This Eagles team, they're winning. I mean, you can't say much when you win, but they're not looking very impressive while they do it.
I very much agree. And really, offense, they've just been able to run the ball and control the game. That's what they did against Dallas. That's what they did against, I would say more against Kansas City, because I feel like that first game against Dallas, Dallas would have won without that rain delay. I really feel that. Because their offense was playing great before. And their defense has kind of worried me so far. They haven't let up a lot of points. They also haven't looked very good while doing it. Like, especially against the Chiefs last week, I saw a lot of film on Jalen Carter taking plays off where he's just standing there and putting his arms up. Like, that's not something you want to see from your keystone defensive player that's supposed to be the best defensive tackle in the league.
Definitely. Um, but I mean, hey, the Eagles do have, I think, either the most talented or the second most talented roster in football. So I mean, I expect them to get things done. I expect them to win the division, even though we are Cowboys fans. If they don't win that division, it'll be very disappointing. But yeah, I mean, as long as they keep winning, I mean, we're it's not much you can really say about them.
And their matchup this week is going to be against the Rams. And honestly, I think I have the Rams taking this one because when you look at how they've played so far, they have been amazing on defense. Week 1, they put the Texans through hell. I know the Texans' offensive line is terrible, but the Rams' D line is looking like a top 3 D line in the league, no question. And I know their secondary has some questions with consistency, but if their D line plays like that, there's nothing else you could say about their defense. That's all you need.
You're taking the Rams in this.
I think I am, especially with how good Matthew Stafford has been playing. I think I think they take this. They've looked great so far this season. The biggest thing that has affected the Rams is that damn Sean McVay injury. He damn tore a tendon or something jogging on the field.
So you're gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna take the really boring pick. I'm gonna take the Eagles. Like I said, they haven't looked very impressive in their first two games, but they also haven't had to do very much in these first two games. I mean they were guns a blazing that first half versus Dallas. Rain delay. Kansas City, really a defensive football game. Offenses weren't very on display, but I expect that to change. Um, what do you call it? I'm going to take the Eagles in this one. What do you call it? I think if they can't run the football, they're going to get the ball into Saquon Barkley's hands, whether it's through the air or on the ground. I expect Saquon to eat. This is a very good defensive line, though. I think he's going to eat. I think it's going to take Saquon a little bit to get going, but once he gets going, I don't think you're going to stop him.
I feel like this game is really going to be decided on how Saquon and that offensive line play. Because in the passing game, I expect Jalen Hurts to do a little bit more than he has been doing, but I also don't expect a big change. I expect it to be very similar.
Gotcha. Let's get into your next game, Jack.
So for our next game, I have the Lions and Ravens. I think this is a top 5 team in both conferences playing. I do have the Ravens taking this one. And right now, the way I look at it is Lions and Ravens both have blowout wins against their respective opponents last week, but I look back to that week one matchup where they both played real good teams. The Ravens played Buffalo and they should have won that game. They should have. You could say they should have. They didn't though. That does count against them, but they looked really good on offense both weeks. It's really just their defense where you have question marks, especially against good teams. That's really where you get into it. Derrick Henry looks amazing. I don't think he's ever going to fall off. But it's just the Ravens defense really worries me, especially in their corner two with Jair Alexander. He sold the Bills game. He had two 40-yard pass interferences and led up a touchdown. Like that, just can't let that happen.
Let me see. Actually, I'm looking up. I want to see the spread on this game. I'm really interested.
It should be around 3.5, I would assume, and I assume the Ravens are going to be favored.
Ooh, the Lions are 5.5 point underdogs. Which in NFL terms, 5.5 is a big line. Um,
And I really do understand that line for the fact that, like I was saying, the Ravens struggled against the Bills defensively, but the Lions looked awful against the Packers week one. And some of that is first game without Ben Johnson as their coordinator, and he's now the Bears head coach. It it's some of it's that, but also their defensive line is a question mark besides Aiden Hutchinson. They don't really have anybody that has stepped up in a big way consistently.
they let Darius Smith walk. So I mean,
I don't understand that. I think that was one of the most mind-boggling decisions of the offseason, especially with how well he played for them last year.
yeah, gotcha. So you're taking the Ravens in this one?
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens. I just think they're a more put together team at this moment. I'm not saying the Lions are bad by any means, but I just think the Ravens are that good.
I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I am gonna take the Ravens, but I do think the Lions will cover that 5.5 point spread. I think it'll be a closer game. I think it's going to be a very close game, actually.
I
It,
think it's going to be a one score game. Lions have a chance at the end, but the Ravens just close it out with Derrick Henry. That's really how I think it's going to go.
yeah. If you're a betting man, what do you call it? Take the Ravens. I do expect the Lions to cover that spread, though. That is a big spread in pro football.
Okay, and this next game I have up, it might be kind of a surprise to some people, but I think these are two good teams, and I think it's going to be a close game. I have the Broncos and the Chargers.
Little AFC West action.
AFC West action. This is the only divisional matchup on this list, but AFC West is going to be a tough division this year. And right now, the Broncos could be 2-0. They could be. They're not. They're 1-1. But I don't really know how to feel against them because yes, the Broncos were a playoff team last year and they've looked solid so far, but their defense played out of this world amazing against Cam Ward week one. I mean, rookie quarterback. What can you say about it? They made life hell for him. They looked the big thing I'm worried about is I don't know how good the Broncos are. I don't know how bad they are because their defense played great week one, but their offense looked very hit and miss. Bo Nix didn't look great week one. But then the next week against the Colts, who I don't know what the hell is going on over there. I don't know if they're the Saints from last year or if they're actually a team. That is something we'll
Indiana
wait and see.
Jones.
Indiana Jones. But my thing is, it kind of switched in week two for the Broncos. Their defense really struggled against the Colts. And I don't know if that's because Daniel Jones is actually playing well. I mean, he is clearly, but I don't know if that's a defensive issue as well. But their offense did look a lot better. Bo Nix had 3 touchdowns. That's just something I want to see is are the Broncos really going to take that next step against a good team in the Chargers? The Chargers defense has been elite so far. Smoked the Chiefs, whooped on the Raiders. The real big thing I want to see is how they play without Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack avoided a super major injury. He didn't break his arm, but he had a terrible dislocation this past Monday, and he's going to be out for at least half the season.
Yeah. For Bo Nix, I mean, having a sophomore year quarterback, I think what has really helped for him over the course of these last 2 weeks is finally getting a definitive number two. I mean, we did have Marvin Mims. last year. But Troy Franklin, 15 targets over these first 2 weeks. He's really putting on a show down there in Denver. And honestly, I think he's becoming one of Bo Nix's favorite targets. I mean, he's a
I think right now he really is his favorite target because you look at it last week, Cortland Sutton had one reception for like 6 yards. He had a rough game, and you know what? That is a reason they didn't score more last week. Like I know the they could have won if that field goal, the first one counted, but they had a field goal penalty, and the Colts got to re-kick it and win.
Yeah. What do you call it? If you haven't already, if you somehow still can, go pick up Troy Franklin off of waivers. Telling you, you won't regret it. What do you call it? Jackson's gonna regret that he didn't take him and I did. So, gotcha. Who are you taking in this one though? I
I
I want to hear
I
what you
feel like
think.
it's really a toss up, and the Chargers have played so great on offense, so great on defense. This is by no means a trap game because they are both good teams, but I feel like this is one of those games where you kind of expect the Chargers to win, but I think the Broncos sneak it out. I really think they do. I'm not a Bo Nix believer per se, but I think he's better than most people give him credit for, and I think he takes this one over.
Um, I'm gonna split with you again. I think the Chargers have played amazing football. Um, what do you call it? They put Justin Herbert. I mean, he's actually doing stuff now. I mean, he's not just a talented guy on paper. I mean, and then literally you also have Omarion Hampton, who hasn't even broke out yet. I mean, just imagine what this Chargers offense can be with Omarion Hampton. Quentin Johnston's catching the football. I mean,
Quinn
yeah,
Johnson can catch the ball. Keenan Allen found the fountain of youth. Lad McConkey's the coldest white guy in the league. There's not much more you could ask for in a receiving core.
I mean, honestly, this is a Chargers team that can win the division, and that says, which is an insane statement when you think about it, with the fact that Patrick Mahomes is in this division. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers in this one. Um, I I think they're a wild card team. They could possibly even win the division, like I told you. Really talented on both sides of the football. I just trust
I
Justin
really
Herbert more than
think
I do Bo Nix.
I really think the AFC West this year could be one of those divisions that every once in a while they have three playoff teams. I could really see going that way. And so now that we're done with those top three matchups of the week, or I picked those out. I thought they were the most interesting matchups. I want to get in these other matchups that we have, not in depth like we did those three, but just kind of our picks and kind of general ideas around the game. So first up, we got the Dolphins and Bills. This is one of the largest. I think I saw it as a 12.5 point spread. It's one of the
Slam
largest
it,
spreads.
slam it.
Slam the Bills. Not on the spread because I think it will be slightly closer than the spread. But I don't see any way the Bills lose this one. Mike McDaniel looks like insane. Tyreek hasn't played well. Tua hasn't played well. It's Bills. And then the next game is going to be a real interesting one. It's going to be two backup quarterbacks in the Bengals and the Vikings. We're going to have Carson Wentz for the Vikings. And we're going to have Jake Browning for the Bengals. I want to hear what you think on this one because this one's one I'm not too sure about.
Jeez, god damn, talk about a shit show. Um, honestly, I'm gonna take Carson Wentz and the Vikings, if I'm being honest. Um,
I I
obviously
think I
you do
will.
have oh sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I was just going to agree with you. I think so too, and it's more because of their defenses than anything. I think the Vikings defense is one of the best schemed up defensive schemes of Brian Flores, and I just don't think he's going to give the Bengals room to breathe. If we're honest,
Yeah, and I mean we were really looking forward to seeing the LSU bros. I mean seeing Justin Jefferson versus Jamar Chase. But I don't even know if either of them will get a reception in this game because
they're
yeah.
going to get a reception.
But I'm gonna take the Vikings. I think their defense is way better than Cincinnati's. Cincinnati doesn't even really have a defense. They have two really explosive guys coming off the edge in Shamar Stewart, the rookie, and then also Trey Hendrickson, who honestly I didn't think they were gonna have either of them to start the season. But Cat got out the bag. They got them both signed. It's not gonna matter though. Honestly, I think Carson Wentz still has something in the tank. I was the biggest Carson Wentz believer as a Cowboys fan. But I mean, we're gonna see.
I was really worried for a period of time that we're going to play him 2 times every year, and just injuries kind of ruined his career. You hate to see it happen, but it does happen. So to get
I
into
mean,
it, our next game we have up is the Texans and the Jaguars. I take the Texans on this one, not because I think they're that much better than the Jaguars, but I just think this is a get back week. They start 0-2. They need a win right here, and I think they'll get it.
if you guys don't know, I do coach youth football. We are the Jags. I'm taking the Jags in this one, um, mostly because of Travis Etienne. I mean, who would have thought that Travis Etienne would find the light? I mean, you trade away Tank Bigsby. Etienne's hurt, but it doesn't matter. Travis Etienne on 10 carries rushed for 173 yards week one. I mean, he makes plays
I
with the
just
ball in his
let
hands.
me
He
let me
catches
let
it.
me
I mean,
interject real quick. Let me interject. This has to be the most biased answer for something I've ever heard. If you don't realize this dude Adrian has Travis Etienne in fantasy, of course he's gonna hype him up,
I
and he's
had
a
him every
damn
single
Jaguars
year.
coach. I don't want to hear your opinion on this one. We're moving on to the next. Next
Jags
game we
winning.
have Colts. We have Colts and Titans. I'm riding the Indiana Jones train. I think Colts take this one, and that's more of just Titans' offenses look kind of rough so far. They played two really good defenses to start the season, and the Broncos and the Rams, but Colts also have a stingy defense. I think Colts will just take this one.
Yeah. What do you call it? I'm gonna take Indiana as well. I mean, Daniel Jones has played amazing. I was never too bad on Daniel Jones. I do think that New York never put him in a place to succeed, and I also thought he did throw Stevie's, but he seems to be refreshed in Indiana. Or Anthony Richardson. Hopefully he finds his way onto a roster. He's very talented. I think he just needs to develop. But yeah, Michael Pittman's getting the ball now. Um, Blue is throwing ass at every single time he gets on camera. So I mean, I'm gonna take the Colts in this one. The Colts are one of my favorite teams to watch at the moment.
I agree. The next one is going to be Raiders Commanders. Not much to say about this one. We'll keep it short. Commanders have looked very solid so far. I know they lost to the Packers this past week. Packers look really good, but Raiders just really struggle. They just don't look good.
Upset of the week. Give me the Raiders to take down the Commanders. I expect Ashton Genty to have his breakout game this year, and I expect Geno Smith to play like an average quarterback. I mean, I don't know.
He's just he's
I got this weird feeling. I think the Raiders are gonna get it going.
okay. Well, agree to disagree on that one. I think Commanders are going to put it away. I just think they're the better team, but you never know. This next one, Falcons Panthers. Falcons Panthers suck. Like they're not playing good. Xavier Legette is legitimately the worst starting wide receiver in the league. Not really much else I have to say. Their defense is horrid outside of Derek Brown and J.C. Horn. I would just slam the Falcons on this one.
I mean, Xavier Legette doesn't get to go home to Glorilla. So I mean, you win some, you lose some. I think this game's gonna be a lot closer than people think. Um, I do think the deciding factor will be Bijan Robinson. I don't think the Panthers defense can stop him. I expect him to have a big day. Um, it's gonna be one
150
of
yards and
those.
2 tuds out of Kyle Pitts, by the way.
Oh yeah. Kyle Pitts to the moon. Kyle Pitts is back. Um, Closer game than a lot of people are gonna realize, but yeah, give me the Falcons in this one.
Okay, and on this next one, we have Steelers Patriots. Honestly, I'm not going to make a prediction for this one because it could really go either way. And I'm the biggest thing I want is an entertaining game and for it not to be ugly. I feel like this game has the potential to be so ugly.
Honestly, I thought Aaron Rodgers was washed, and then he walks into New York and throws for four tutties. Um,
He even last week against Seahawks, he played great. You watch the film on it. He was making. I saw a clip of him throwing one of the most insane throws I've ever seen, and his receiver drops it. He's played great, but that Steelers wide receiver core does scare me. I think DK Metcalf is the most overrated wide receiver in the league. And their wide receiver two is Calvin Austin, the third. He's not very good.
I will make a prediction here. As much as I, as much as I trust Aaron Rodgers more than Drake May for obvious reasons. I think this is the game that Drake May puts his name on the map as one of the top young quarterbacks in football. I am extremely high on Drake May, and
You
I
know what?
I
I'll agree with you
I think
here.
I
I'm a
think
Drake May
Drake
believer.
May I think Drake May walks it down and wins it game-winning drive.
Okay, and this next game we have Packers Browns. I feel like this is kind of what you said about the Raiders Commanders game. I have a sneaky feeling the Browns are going to go in there and win it. They finally have Quinshawn Junkins back, and he averaged 6 yards a carry on his first NFL action. Especially he didn't have OTAs, he didn't have preseason. I I think they put it together. They run the ball on the Packers and they win.
Um, I think you should go get checked out in the morning because that is somehow even crazier than my underdog pick. Give me the Packers. Give me the Packers by by two scores.
We'll see. We'll see. And then next we have Jets Buccaneers. This is one I could see going either way, but I am a lot more confident in the Bucks. Uh, Especially this week. Actually, I changed my mind. I just remembered Justin Fields isn't playing this week. They have Unc Tyrod Taylor starting. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers. It's just Jets offense isn't the same.
Yeah, give me my goat, Mike Evans, and the greatest frat boy of all time, Baker Mayfield. Bucks are gonna put BTA.
Next, we have Saints Seahawks. I think Seahawks walk away with this one, but I do see the Saints being sneaky. If you've really watched the games, Spencer Rattler has played really solid so far. Not elite, but he's played top 15 worthy so far this season. So Saints offense is something to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it'll come down to who can guard Jackson Smith and Jigba. I mean, he's averaging 13 targets a game. I mean, it's insane. I mean, they're really feeding him the football for good reason. I expect him to have another big day. Um, I just
Man,
think they're going
even
to commit.
Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup had 7 receptions for 90 yards last week. He's playing well too.
I'm telling you, this is just Sam Darnold has proved it wasn't a fluke. I mean, he's playing pretty good football so far. I expect him to keep doing it. Give me the Hawks.
Okay, our next game up is the Cowboys Bears. I recommend you go watch our 60-second breakdown on that game on TikTok. We both slam Cowboys. I don't know how the Bears are slightly favored. End of story.
Yeah, Cowboys cover that 1.5 point spread.
Next game up, Cardinals Niners. I think this is going to be one of the closer games of the week. I really, I really think I want to say Cardinals take this in the regular season in years past. Cardinals have had the 49ers number. I think they continue it. I think Trey McBride is a great target for Kyler Murray, and if he could find that chemistry and get it better with Marvin Harrison, I think they steal this one easy.
With no Brock Purdy?
No Brock Purdy for the Niners. I think it's technically questionable because he's not on IR, but it looks like it's going to be Mac Jones again. I think Mac Jones does have great targets, especially with Jawan Jennings healthy. He has Ricky Pearsall, he has Christian McCaffrey, but I just think the Cardinals take this one.
Oh wait. Oh, okay. I agree with you then. You had said Niners at first. That's why I was confused.
Oh
Um,
no, I think I misspoke there. Sorry.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm taking Cardinals.
Okay, and our last and final game of this NFL slate this weekend, Chiefs Giants. I mean, who the hell expected Russell Wilson to throw for 450 yards last week? I feel like that came out of nowhere. That's an insane performance. Malik Neighbors and Wandale Robinson played their ass off. But also, you say that how well they played on offense, their defense looked terrible. They couldn't stop anything. I think Chiefs take this one. I don't think it's particularly close. I think the
Uh,
Chiefs have a much better defense. It sucks to say I think they have a much better defense than the Cowboys, and I think they just kind of shut down this Giants offense.
yeah. I don't see any world in which the Chiefs start 0-3. I think they're finally gonna pull the stick out of their asses and be the Chiefs that we know them to be, and I don't expect this one to be close.
Yeah, so that will be finishing our predictions for the NFL games this week. And I want to get into our story of the week for the NFL. So we're going to have one story of the week for college, one story of the week for the NFL. And are you ready? Brian Thomas Jr. That dude is a bum. He's a bum, and I hate him. And I'm really mad that I drafted him in both of my fantasy leagues this year.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot worse options, but yeah, Jackson's 0-2, biggest shit talker. Um, you wouldn't
Hey,
know it if you were
I'm 1-1 in the second league. I'm 1-1 in the second league.
if you were looking at our fantasy league. The guy on the right of your screen is in first place, and oh wait, no. No, the guy on the left side of your screen. Sorry, I'm inverted. Guy on the left is in first place. Me right here, most points scored in the league. And then you got this guy right here in last place. Um, might be too far gone. I don't know. He might end up in a dog cage getting chunky ragu thrown at him. We'll see.
I don't know. I think my team's really good. I think we're gonna improve. I think I'm expecting a win this week. Yeah, that's all I could say. So I think today that's gonna cut it for What's a Big Deal podcast. We thank you all for watching, whoever does. Make sure to check out our TikTok, our Instagram, where we're gonna be posting clips of the episodes and also predictions. And I'm gonna pass it over to Adrian.
Yeah, honestly,